Wait a second. Hello? Oh, the chat wasn't showing on here. Hold on. How pop out chat? Oh, there we go. Okay, now I can see the chat. I found this old webcam on the line about in my room, so I just thought I'd try that over the phone. Maybe the connection won't be as bad. Hold on. I am trying to play with settings here. I know this camera is not the best. Can I tweak anything? Oh, okay. I could adjust some of my settings here. Contrast. Oop. Sharpness. Okay. Obviously, I'm not going to get anything fancy with this webcam. So, how's it going? Oh, okay. I can see the chat here too. So, how is everybody doing? Can you hear me okay? Is this microphone okay? I mean, I know it's not the best microphone. Okay, you can. Well, that's good. Okay, can I move the chat somewhere? Okay. I'm so not used to these live streaming settings. So, how's it going? So one of the things that you probably noticed is the didn't really upload much of anything last month, for the month of June. And the only reason why is just because I didn't really have much of anything to upload at all. Oh, I forgot to play the video in the back. Because, who needs copyright, right? Let's see. Well, I think you just ordered the Rey Skywalker on the Darth Maul. Very nice. What do you need help with? Let's see. You get a custom saber and blade if you have one. But yeah, feel free to leave me any questions that you may have. When did you last go to Galaxy's Edge? I was last there. What was the day I went? So the video that I did talking about Avengers Campus, where I was kind of ranting, just because it was the opening weekend of how disorganized it was. It was not that day, but on Thursday of that week. That's when I was last at Disneyland. I would have gone today actually, but I figured maybe I wait until next month when temperatures cool down a little bit. It's just been really hot. Let's see. When are you going to review the Kyberlight lightsaber? I am not sure yet. Like I said, things are a little bit slow right now. Just every every person who does YouTube has a slow month or two here and there. So I don't really. The only lightsabers that I have on order are two. One is through the pack store, which is the Fallen Order one, which that was pre-ordered back in February, early February, and we have no idea when that's coming out. And then the other one is through was it Phoenix Props, an Ezra Bridger lightsaber, specifically the Saber Blaster combo. I have a pre-order for that. I was kind of curious when those orders were going to release, but I guess there was a delay because the person had to find a different manufacturer or something like that, and so there's kind of a delay in that one. So that's the only two I currently have ordered at the moment. Let's see. I want a good experience, but this is my first trip and I don't want all my money away. Well, you don't have to spend all your money. Oh, here's your question. Let's see. I'm going to Disney World at the end of September, and I'm wondering if I should get a Savi's or Legacy Obi-Wan. The Obi-Wan video of yours says it's good. Depends on what you really want, and of course what's available. So my recommendation is when you go there, you can go into a shop right next to Savi's and see the Legacy sabers, and have hands-on with them. And if you're not finding anything to your fancy, you could always book a Savi's experience. So it really depends on what you want. You know, as the saying goes, it's your money, it's your choice. But I mean, either option to me is, personally good. You're still waiting for your first order staff? Very nice. How did you get so many first order troopers? So yeah, there's that section. Man, this camera sucks. It's all blurry. So this section and that section there. So funny thing is how I accumulated so many Hot Toys first order troopers. Um, After Christmas last year, I was on eBay just kind of browsing around because you never know. You might rarely find a solid deal on eBay for something that's like too good to be true kind of situation, but an honest deal. And I noticed that at the time, a lot of the Hot Toys first order figures were going for so cheap. In fact, what started it was someone was selling three two-pack figures for first order figures where you get a basic and a heavy trooper. And this guy was, I was following his post. I think it was at a buy it now price, but I was following. And literally on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, I can't remember what it was, he basically threw an offer to the people following the listing, and it ended up being like $425 for three two-pack first order figures. So that's what kind of started it. And then from there just kind of grew to a certain point. I didn't want to overdo it, just enough to where I was getting the best deal possible and saving. Because the first order figures, they're decent. They don't have the best articulation, but if you put them like mostly together in a group, then they pretty much stand out on the shelf. They have like a nice shelf presence. And I kind of like it too because it kind of also reminds me of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge when you go into Rise of the Resistance and you seeing all those First Order troopers flying about. So it kind of has that nice feel. What is your favorite lightsaber that you have? That's easy. It's my Star Killer one. My battery is currently charging right now, but this Star Killer saber is my pride and joy, if you will. Hopefully battery charge is quick enough, then I could showcase a font that I just purchased. When did you buy your first lightsaber? I guess it depends on which one. If we're talking about a non-custom one, like a Disney Galaxy's Edge version, then whenever I did that video with the like how my trip was to Galaxy's Edge during that preview month, that was the first saber purchase. As far as the custom one, I think that was at the time where I had all the Disney ones, and then a lot of people kept asking me, "Dude, you should look into custom lightsabers." And then I was trying to find a point or to start because there's so many questions out there for custom lightsabers, and I just kind of started off with the Saber Forge one. The electronics back then were different than what they offer now, and then from there went from CFX to me loving Profi. I still hate configuring Profi boards, but I like it. Do 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 do. Did you hear what happened to Barry? Um, I'm not familiar with Barry. I already did the lightsaber one. Let's see, who is Dragon? Let's see, just ordered my empty star killer from Saber Bay. Very nice. A lot of people are liking. A lot of people have been buying star killer lightsabers recently, which is pretty cool. Because I mean, what's not to like about star killer's lightsaber, right? Do you have a dueling lightsaber? Um, I mean, I have a couple sabers that are in LED with medium to light blades, but I don't have one specifically for dueling because I don't have anyone to duel, really. The only thing I have to duel is what's ever in my imagination. That's about it. When are you planning to go back to Galaxy's Edge? There might be a time this month, maybe. Like I want the weather to kind of cool down a little bit. It's just been, in the high 80s to 90s to sometimes hundreds. And you know me, I like to dress up in the Sith garbs that I like to wear when I go Disney bounding. So you can only imagine how hot it is to wear that outfit when you go. I mean, yes, I can go and dress up normally, but where's the fun in that? So I would like the weather to cool off a little bit, and plus I'm kind of waiting for a lot of the stuff to reopen. Most of the stuff has reopened already at Disneyland. I think there's like maybe one or two different things that are yet to open. So hopefully by then, when I do go back, Disney's already 100% open, all the rides and everything. Especially for was it Jungle Cruise? I don't know when Jungle Cruise is supposed to finish, but hopefully by then that's already reopened. Would you review a Darth Nihilus saber? Um, yeah, just it depends. Obviously, what kind of deals that I could find and things like that. Have you reviewed an Electron Sabercraft? So on that one, I actually had an Electron Sabercraft before, and I had one that I picked out from their site that I liked with the weathering and all that. But the thing is, I wasn't happy with the electronics. The electronics were not that great. In fact, one of the things that they mostly talk about is how you could use their app on the phone, do all this and that, and it just wasn't good at all. At least with my experience. Maybe things are different now because it's been well over a year or so since I last checked them out. But I'm hoping to wait a little bit more. Maybe some more options might open up before I give them a chance again. Because really, from Electrum Sabercrafts at this point, I would rather have the hell empty to do a custom install. But unfortunately, you can only get what they install, and I don't like what they offer. But hopefully down the road. Did you ever think of doing Star Wars models like starfighters, walkers? I actually have a file or two. I recently joined a Patreon called Darkfire Designs. He's got a lot of these really cool Star Wars clone trooper figures and stuff like that that you can get files to. And he's got all kinds of various ones. You can do like Clone Troopers Phase 1 or Phase 2. He's even got vehicle sets depending on what portion of the Patreon you join of his. And there's one of the, which one was it? The ATST Walker. So there's a Walker file on there that I want to print. It's going to take quite a bit of time to print it because there's a lot of parts that you have to print. And thankfully, I have a bigger resin printer. So hopefully, I could pick the right time to print all those parts and then build a walker. I don't know what the size is. I think maybe it's about this big, give or take. But it pans up well with the miniature sized figures. Congrats on 98K. You've been growing really fast recently, and you're almost there. Thank you. If the whole pandemic situation in the world never happens, I probably would have been at 100K probably last year. I'll probably be moving to maybe 150K by now. But unfortunately, things happen in life, situations change, and I'm just happy that I'm that much closer now to 100,000 subscribers. Which, by the way, if for those of you who don't know, is that when I reach 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a pretty decent giveaway where I'm going to be giving away a full custom lightsaber, not a cheap custom. We're talking about like one with a Profi or CFX, NeoPixel, all the works with a blade. And then for like a second prize, I was thinking of a the dark saber from the pack store, not the one that I reviewed, their version 2 model with a custom blade, and then something for winner number 3. Figure out what to do for that one. So that's kind of what I want to do when I reach 100,000, to kind of give back to the community in a pretty good way. How's that PS5 been treating you? LOL. Not sure what the LOL is for, but both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X consoles have been treating me extremely well. I've been playing both. Actually, I've been playing the newest Ratchet and Clank game on the PlayStation 5. Splendid game, by the way. If you haven't played it, highly recommend it. And then on the Xbox, what am I playing on that one? I think I just re-downloaded Battlefield 5 on the Xbox. Even though I think what I want to buy is that Scarlet Nexus game. I'm probably going to get that for the Xbox. But I've been mostly playing Battlefield 5 on the PC, which my PC is, boom, right there towards the back there. So I do have a custom PC as well. Will you be doing... Yeah, someone said that they were going to send that saber to me, sorry, I can't even pronounce her name, that double-bladed saber. But I haven't heard back from the individual, so I'm a little bit concerned. Like, I actually haven't heard from him at all in the past 2 weeks, so I'm not sure if something may have happened to him. So I'm a little bit concerned for his health right now. Should I do lightsaber reviews on my YouTube channel? I mean, you can do whatever it is that you want on your YouTube channel. It's your channel. You know, if you do decide to upload anything on YouTube, just upload what you like. If you're passionate about something, upload it. And key thing is, of course, ignore the haters, ignore the trolls, things like that. Use features like blocking and stuff like that if anyone causes you issue, and just have fun with it. Do you think there will be a Battlefront 3? There better be a Battlefront 3 because I'm tired of a lot of these games where we deserve a third installment ending at a 2. Like we had the original Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. We never got a 3. It was in development, but never came out. And then now we have DICE Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. Will we see a third one? I would hope so. And what else? Republic Commando. I mean, we only have Republic Commando 1, but we deserve a second one. We need to figure out what happened to our lost squad mate. Let's see. Nobody deserves that YouTube 100K button more than you, bro. There's a lot of good channels out there. I mean, I'm a pretty simplified channel. There's a lot of people that are a little bit more creative in their content, creativity, and things like that. I'm just, for me, my uploads are simplistic, nothing too crazy, over the top. I'm not trying to be someone that I'm not, kind of thing. Just, being true to myself more than anything. So there's a lot of creators out there who put a lot of work and dedication to their channels that definitely deserve 100,000 more than me. Um, oh, by the way, I wanted to share this. It was kind of in the thumbnail. I don't know how well this webcam is going to pick it up. So if you guys remember, I I painted this shore trooper or lunch trooper, if you will. This is one of the free files from Darkfire Designs that you can get, and this was blown up at to 200% of its scale. If it was 100, it would probably be maybe half the size, but this is 200% scale. And I recently printed him again because I was kind of curious, how big can I make these files without losing the detail? So I made one at 400% of his scale. So here's one at 400%, and then here's him at 200%. So there's a pretty big difference in the sizing there from 200 to 400, which is great because obviously this once it's all painted up by me, of course, it would have a good presence on the shelf, back here, or it's kind of hard. I'm putting like some of the 3D printed stuff over here. Like everything there's all 3D printed or resin printed, if you will. But I definitely like how this guy turned out. What resin brand do you use? So actually, let me go get it for you guys. Do resin brand, resin brand, resin. So this is the printer that I have is called the Anycubic Photon Mono. Courtesy of Xander and his family, they actually really like the resin printing a lot, and they want to get some stuff printed too. And they graciously donated a larger resin printer, which is the Anycubic Photon Mono X. It's currently set up in there right now. So it's just kind of hard to move it in here because it's so heavy. But since I'm using the Anycubic resin printer, I've been mostly using the Anycubic resin brand. So this is just the 3D printing UV sensitive resin. This is just a basic gray. It's been mostly the primary color I've been using. I tried to use a water-based resin, or it's water washable, but I wasn't having any luck dialing down the settings, so I just keep sticking with the regular brand of resin here. Never had any issues with it. Will you be making a gaming channel? Well, this was technically a gaming channel, but then I switched it to the Star Wars stuff. The only reason why the Gamer Fusion name still exists is because I'm still partnered with Gamer Fusion. I did at one point ask you guys if you're up for maybe a name change on the channel, which a lot of you said no. Keep the Gamer Fusion in the name. Because I was thinking at one point, maybe calling the channel, Sir James at Galaxy's Edge or something like that, something a little bit different. But a lot of you preferred for me to keep the name. Scaled up, they look a little bit more cartoony. I mean, there's a little bit more thickness. I mean, the files by default have like kind of a cartoonish look, which is nice, especially for the clone troopers, because it kind of gives you that Clone Wars vibes to it. But with the files being free, I can't really argue with the results here. I want to bring another one over here. What's nice about these files too is that you can get different helmets from like phase 2 and phase 1, or you can get just the regular head sculpts. So let me kind of piece this one together really quick for you guys. So I could show you this one. I haven't painted this one yet. Usually I don't paint unless if I'm like either really bored or I'm really depressed is the only time I actually tend to paint anything. Let's see. So for example, here we have some clone medics here. Oop, his helmet is way too high. There you go. So we have some clone medics here. They got that medic symbol on their shoulder. On this side, on the shoulder pack, and then I have their medic backpacks and stuff like that. So got some little fun files like these. Have you printed a Mandalorian helmet? I have not. Actually, it's been a long time since I really printed a helmet. I'll need to think about doing one. Do you know anyone selling a NeoPixel Star Killer Saber? Not at the moment. I don't know anyone selling a Star Killer Saber. Which, by the way, I'm sure most of you probably know what's playing in the background, but for those of you who don't know, it is the Star Wars, the Clone Wars movie. I remember seeing the movie with my baby brother in the theaters at the time. I would say some of the animation from the movie, some parts of it hasn't aged as well as the later episodes of Clone Wars, but still fun to watch. Do you have a FDM 3D printer? So the filament printer. So I used to. I had the Creality CR10 V2 or something like that. I ended up selling that machine in favor of getting a resin printer. The only reason why is because with filament printers, I've had a mixed bag of results, a lot of issues and things like that. And I tried a lot of different settings and stuff wasn't working well to me. So it was mostly causing a frustration and a headache. And so when I got the resin printer, I've had basically about 99% success rates, and I've never looked back. So I will definitely stick with resin printing over a filament printer anytime. Though the only advantage that a filament printer, in my opinion, has is that you can get a filament printer with a huge print bed for a decent price to print full-size helmets. Fortunately for resin printers, stuff like that can start to cost a lot of money for a super big one, which yeah, that's probably the only downside. Do you have anything? Wait, do you have anything that you hate Star Wars? Do you have any things that you hate? Is there anything that I hate Star Wars? Is that what your question is? Do you like replicas or models more? I like both equally. Do. What's the difference between Blade LEDs and NeoPixel? I think technically they're the same. Oh, which actually reminds me. Did you guys see the video for the Darksaber, the Hasbro version? There's a channel. Let's see if I could find the channel really quick. Someone actually did a video on the Hasbro Darksaber. It was in Japanese or Chinese. I don't recall the language. Star Wars Dark Saber Hasbro. But apparently there is an unboxing video that was uploaded 6 days ago. Let me link you guys. Oh, where did the chat go? Boom. So that's the video in question. So the video that I just linked, they unboxed the Darksaber by Hasbro. And maybe it's just, yeah, maybe she has smaller hands, or maybe it's just the actual product, but it looks like the handle on the Hasbro Darksaber looks a little bit chunkier. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but most of the Darksaber there from Hasbro's version I'm liking. You know, the blade and everything definitely looks a much better. Gotta head out. It was fun. Hope you reach 100K soon. Well, thank you very much. Only time can tell. Have you seen the new Sideshow figures? Yes, actually, speaking of Sideshow figures, or specifically Hot Toys, if you will, there was one that was just announced today. It was a Toy Fair exclusive. Let me bring up Facebook here really quick. I believe it was the Armorer. So the one who basically constructed Mando's armor and so forth. They're actually releasing a 1/6 scale figure of the Armorer. which is pretty cool. It says it's a Toy Fair exclusive, which I don't think conventions are even happening this year. So I think eventually it's going to go on Sideshow's website. You have the same reservations about the Darksaber handle. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the handle. I mean, I like the handle from the Galaxy's Edge version, but we'll see how the Hasbro one goes. Where is the Sideshow page? Sorry, I can't see the chat at the moment. I'm looking for that info here. Here you go. So a pre-order is coming soon at Sideshow. Let me see if I can link you guys the page. Okay, that didn't work. So yeah, they have the 1/6 scale, the armor figure that will be available for pre-order on Sideshow's website soon. Probably tomorrow, if I had to take a guess. Where's the chat at? There you guys are. And going to Galaxy's Edge in Cali next week. Any suggestions? Yeah, mostly just to have fun, explore. Definitely try out the blue and green milk, or in this case, the frosty treats. Or you could buy both and mix them together for a third option. Yeah, I've seen that Electrum Sabercraft Saber before. But yeah, have fun, explore. I know Disney has this app thing on their phone for Galaxy's Edge where you can like scan these different things. Honestly, that little app scan feature, a lot of people played it when Galaxy's Edge first opened up, but I don't really see anyone ever touching that again. I tried it once, wasn't that exciting, but I mean, there's kind of like that you can do. Do you have any Knights of Ren figures? I do not. Technically, my little brother does. Those Star Wars figure packs that are like $25 that comes like about this size or so that comes with like a bunch of them. Some of those had some Knights of Ren in it. Who is your favorite clone? I have a lot of favorite clones. The only problem is that every time I like a clone trooper, they always get killed off. The only clones that are probably left alive that I still like that are not dead would be obviously Captain Rex, Echo. At the moment, I mean, until we see what happens in the Bad Batch, because I don't know what's going to happen as far as that show goes. But Echo is alive when I thought he was dead back on the Citadel. I'm pretty sure Cody's still around somewhere in the galaxy. We don't know whatever happened to him. But most of the other like clone troopers in the show have basically died out. Actually, there was one. I'm trying to remember the clone's name. It was the what was the episode called in the Clone Wars? The I think it was like a 2 or 3 part episode, but it was one where Kenobi's forces went to rescue the Twi'leks, and there was the 2 clones. Oh, Waxer and Boyle. There you go. You had those 2 clones. I really enjoyed their part in the series. Actually, that's probably one of my favorite episodes. Honestly, actually, I have a lot of different episodes, but that particular episode with Waxer and Boyle with the Twi'lek girl is definitely one of my personal favorites. What are you more excited for, the Book of Boba or a Kenobi show? I'm excited for both. Actually, what I'm really excited for right now is what was it called? I just posted it last night. It is called Star Wars Visions. I'm actually really excited for Star Wars Visions because we're finally going to have anime combined with Star Wars. I've seen like video clips of people doing that already, so I can't wait to see how these turn out because honestly, that's a pretty good match made. And since Star Wars is kind of open for storytelling and they're kind of expanding and being more open to other people, I can't wait to see what's done with that department. Favorite color saber would be yellow, probably my number one, and then blue would be my second favorite. Mm, why ate you so hot? What? Actually right now the weather's comfortable right now, and plus I have my door closed, so that helps too. If you guys remember from the other streams, I was having those issues with those flies with my one door open. I got a net right there at the door, so that solves that issue. It was either that or get a chameleon to eat the flies, but that was cheaper. Third color, probably red, and then fourth, green. Happy 4th of July weekend. Well, hopefully your weekend was good as well. I actually did recently buy something. Let me just reach for it here. Boom, right there. Alienware laptop. That one was through Best Buy. I'm actually going to be taking that laptop back. There's nothing bad about the laptop that I showed. It's actually a very good one. The only reason why I'm going to take it back is because I'm going to order the newer one off Dell's website. Because the difference between the one that I got at Best Buy and the one I saw on Dell's website was for $40 more, I get a lot more upgrade options, where I get the Intel 11th gen chip instead of the 10th, faster RAM speeds and upgradable RAM options. I'll get a 4K display rather than the 1080p display at this is the 300 hertz, while the one on their website was 240 hertz. So, and plus 1 terabyte of storage versus 500 gigs. So it's definitely going to be a lot more worthy. Which, by the way, I'm going to have a video coming out soon. It's currently under. Is it under embargo? No, the embargo already ended. It's when it launches. Let me bring a couple books over. So a company reached out to me and they sent me a box filled with products. And basically, what they offer are things that are going to be good for people that are just wanting some extra things that are Star Wars related, or those that are still in school and for academic purposes and things like that. So I'm trying to figure out how to convey this into a video because I'm reviewing something completely different. But I have a couple little books here as some early samples here. So we have this one here, the Do or Do Not, There Is No Try. This is actually with they call it the vegan leather material for the binding here. And this is simply just this is simply a notebook. So for like schooling and things like that, or for those that just want to leave notes or maybe use it as a personalized journal. And this is another example here. We have this one here with the vegan leather bound. A little bit hard to see. There you go. You can see the falcon there on the cover. And then on the inside. And then this one here is a focused planner. So this one here opens up. You can put all your dates and weeks and stuff like that. So I'm mostly going to use this for like keeping track of video game releases, movies, TV shows, and so forth. So those are just a couple examples. Like I said, I have a box filled with things in there, and some stuff I'm gonna give to my little brother after the video, and so forth, and maybe anything left over, I'll probably do a giveaway or maybe throw some of that towards the 100K giveaway. I have a PlayStation Vita. I love the Vita. I think Sony did a good job with the PlayStation Vita. I think the reason why it failed is because Sony is they were so stupid to use those annoying specially made memory cards because those memory cards were expensive as hell. And if they just allowed you to use a micro SD or a regular SD card, then I think the PlayStation Vita would have been around a lot longer. I guess the good thing of the PlayStation Vita is it's pretty good for ROM hacking now, and some people already made custom firmware to use, SD cards, normal ones. That's what I kind of use mine for. And then I have, a regular PSP right here, the old school PlayStation Portable. That was a fun one. And then I have another device I left at work, but it was like under $100, but it's pretty good for video game ROMs, for a lot of the 2D platformers. What type of dual sabers do you have? They're just basic. What's the company name? It's Ultra Saber, stunt sabers. It's basically what it was. I don't order anything too crazy from Ultra Sabers. Usually, if I get anything from them, it's just a basic stunt saber. So that way, if it were to get damaged or whatever, I won't feel bad about it because of how much money that I spent on it technically. So I just kind of stick with that option. There's one guy here in the chat that's so obsessed with chicken for whatever reason. Just want to stop by and say hello. Love your channel. Well, thank you for stopping by. The only thing good about chicken is chicken legs, chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, chicken wings, Let's see. What do you think about the announcement of Star Wars Vision? When I saw the announcement of Star Wars Vision, I had a big smile on my face just because if you go on YouTube right now and type in Star Wars anime, there's a lot of people who took a lot of the scenes we know from Star Wars and gave them an anime like treatment. And looking at those visually is stunning and great. And it's like, because I love to watch anime. I do it all the time. And I feel like Star Wars with an anime kind of art style to it could work out very good, and people can get really creative with a series like that. And the fact that we're getting that as an option now is really exciting. So I can't wait to see what a lot of these studios and companies bring forward to us. So hopefully, maybe more expanding options too along the way. But definitely can't wait to see. Because the nice thing about Star Wars is that it's a big universe, so there's a lot of different stories out there. It doesn't have to be from what we know with our characters. It can be new, interesting characters or characters that came in long after the films have ended. So you can be pretty open with those. When is your next visit to Disney? Maybe this month if the weather cools off, if not next month for sure. I'm kind of hoping to go to Universal Studios this month, actually. I will have to see what happens since the Waterworld show is back up and operational. Let's see. I love Angry Birds Star Wars videos with the PlayStation Vita. I might get that. Oh yeah, Angry Birds. I forgot Angry Birds. Oh man, I remember that game. I'm gonna. Who's your favorite Sith and Jedi? I don't really have a particular favorite Sith and or Jedi. I'm more of a fan of the troopers in Star Wars. So the clone troopers, stormtroopers, all that. I'm more of a trooper fan versus any Jedi and or Sith related characters. I mean, there's a lot of Jedi and Sith characters that I like. I just don't have one in particular that I'm a huge fan of. If that makes any sense. I've always been more of a trooper fan. I mean, obviously that's why I have more troopers back there than Jedis and Siths. Actually, there's a place that I want to go back and visit. I haven't been to in so long. It's the Medieval Dinner Adventure Show. That's actually where my YouTube name came from, the Sir James name, because back when I graduated from high school in 2008, um, me, my mom, and my grandpa went to medieval times. So we did the whole shebang, like Money Could Buy, where they announce your name and everything. And I have this paper sitting around somewhere where being knighted by the king in the show, and it says, has all this thing on there with the Sir James name on it. So that's how I decided to use the Sir James name, because when I created my YouTube channel originally, I was looking around for ideas and inspiration for a name that I could use and like and not hate after, a year or two. And ever since then, I've just been using the Sir James name. So it's got a nice ring to it. I'm going to start creating armor for trooper display. Very nice. I would like to one day have a trooper armor on the mannequin one of these days. I know a friend of mine, he ordered some outfits from Anvos. He ordered the Kylo Ren. He's been waiting for, I think, almost 4 years now. So it's like a long wait from that company. And then he ordered the First Order outfit from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, so that big outfit that you could wear. He bought that. And I guess he had also ordered the Anvos First Order kit. So you'd have to, shave the kit down and build it to your initial size and all that. I know he said whenever that comes in, he's going to give me that kit since he ordered the full belt one from Galaxy's Edge. So eventually, one of these days or years, whenever Anvos actually delivers on their promise, I'm going to have a first order kit that I would have to assemble. So that should be a fun challenge. I did actually buy the first order helmet that they had at GameStop. It was a Black Series, I guess, version 2. But when I bought it, they had this towards the bottom portion of the mask, there's all this silver scuffing. So I ended up taking it back just because that was going to annoy the hell out of me. But it was a nice helmet. You just couldn't see for the hell of it out it because it was so blurry. But it was a nice Black Series helmet regardless. But pretty high end. Do you know when the SS Saber restocks? That I have no idea. You never know. Honestly, some things take longer. What did I miss? I don't know. Probably a few things, I would guess. I still remember your middle name to I wish I got to say goodbye in 2013 when I was forced to move to Texas. Oh, you were forced to move to Texas? Well, hopefully you're having fun. Actually, you know what? I think you're lucky to be in Texas just because I think there's a lot of great places. Like I was watching another YouTube channel called The Game Chasers. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but they go all around Texas, hunting for retro video games. And Texas seems to have a lot of really cool places to visit to find retro video games and things like that. I wish I knew of places around here. Like the swap meet that I've gone to, they don't really carry stuff like that. I would have to like find these unique locations. It'd be kind of fun to do some retro video game hunting. I'm going to be doing. Let's see, bother that Disney doesn't know when the dark saber would be in. Yeah, no one knows when Disney stocks are in. Do you like some other movie series too? There's a lot of series that I like and movies and so forth. Like right now, if you're kind of curious, like what TV shows am I currently watching? I've been watching The Flash, obviously. DC's Legends of Tomorrow. I'm a big Legends of Tomorrow fan, though I'm a little bit concerned about how the show is going because of the characters. Like we don't have the full cast of our original characters back in season one versus to where we're at now. And I know the guy who plays Mick Worry will pretty soon be leaving this show, so I'm a little bit concerned how much that show has left in its tank before it eventually ends. Of course, did watch the Arrow, but Arrow's now over. So yeah, just a lot of various of shows, and of course the Disney Plus shows. Also watching. Speaking of which, Loki. Currently watching Loki right now. A very good series. So if you guys are watching it, let me know what you think of Loki as well. Do you collect Black Series? I do not. The only reason why is because I find that some of the figures, especially the Black Series line, have been kind of a pain to try to collect or just struggling because there's a lot of people that I know that collect the Black Series figures. I know Dano started to recently start collecting them when he said he never was going to collect them. But look at him now; he's now collecting them. But yeah, there's a lot of people I see online complaining because some figures are like retail store exclusives and they're really hard to get or they sell out too quickly and things like that. So, yeah, there just seems to be of a struggle. And the thing is, if I start getting into the Black Series stuff, I would want to like cut back because obviously the more Black Series that I buy, then the less money that I would have for like maybe the next Hot Toys. Loki is Thor's brother. I did not know that. Do you drink beer or anything? Nope, I don't drink any beer at all. I mean, actually, no, technically, the only beer that I drink, even though it's not actual beer, is root beer. But that's it. Yeah, Loki is adopted. He was a frost giant. Do you like Middle Earth stories? Yeah. I'm actually waiting on that new Lord of the Rings Netflix adaptation. I have no idea how that's going to go. Hopefully it's decent. Favorite Star Wars movie. My all-time favorite Star Wars movie. If I only had to pick one out of everything available today, and it still maintains to be my favorite, would be Empire Strikes Back, which is why actually you can't really see it. Which is why right here we have the whole Empire Strikes Back scene right there. Obviously, the lightsabers aren't lit up at the moment. The word beer is still there, so it still counts. But yeah, Empire is my all-time favorite. The thing is, I want to collect some of the Lord of the Rings 1/6 scale figures. Like, there's a really nice Gandalf one that's available, but he's so expensive. The Gandalf is like 325, $340, give or take. But it's like I want to get him, and I know that I think they recently announced a Legolas as well, like a nicely updated version. But it's like, yeah, some of these figures just can be so expensive. In fact, I'm noticing the price increase of 1/6 scale figures are starting to go up. So eventually, trying to collect these scale figures are just not going to be cost efficient anymore. Like back in the day, a 1/6 scale clone trooper would be $125. Today, if you try to buy that same clone trooper, it's now going to cost you $600+ depending on what the trooper is. I've already been on Electrum Sabercraft's website, so I already know all the helps that they have. Do you collect any Mr. Brand clothing gear? Oh, I don't think I'm familiar with that brand. Let me look them up. Mr. Brand. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of this place. So it's good that you brought it up because I'm always looking for some cool new places for clothing. Oh, they got an Assassin's Creed Unity jacket. I'm already seeing some things that I want from here. Oh, where did the check go again? Let's see. You'll have 1 million subscribers soon. You'll be able to afford them. I don't think I deserve 1 million. I think just 100K is enough for me. Just being at 100K would make me more happier than 1 million. But if one day I do reach 1 million, then obviously cool, you know. It's just I'm more excited for the 100K mark than anything. Yeah. I just like, having that check mark next to your name saying that you're verified, which that probably annoys the hell out of me when it comes to YouTube. The fact that you need to have 100,000 subscribers just to be verified on YouTube is probably the most annoying thing in the world. They should downsize that. I would say 100K to get a plaque and then maybe 50K to be verified or something like that. I think that would be a much better deal as far as YouTube goes, but I don't make the rules from that. I thank you for being honest with your reviews, Sir Gamer Fusion. A lot of people say Sir Gamer Fusion's funny. Do you like canon or legend? I like both. What review videos do you have lined up? I don't really have a lot of reviews currently lined up. Like I'm right now, I'm kind of like at a snail's pace, slow right now. It's annoying. I have one saber like right now that I've had for a while now that I haven't reviewed yet because I've reviewed so many Vader Vault sabers in a row. But I have a Vader's Vault, excuse me, Tempest, I think was the name of it. Let's see. Uh, so here's the Tempest one right here. Oh, where did my stream go? So it's the Tempest. It's got a custom shroud here on the top. This is another Vader's Vault saber. So there's that one. I know there is the Temple Guard costume, the one that I got on eBay that was on the mannequin. Right now, it's just the pilot. Right now, again, it's been mostly hot, so I would rather wait for the weather to cool down first before I even review that Temple Guard outfit that I got. Because it'll be much easier to review it when it's, when I'm not dying in the outfit kind of thing. Then again, I guess the easiest way is to toss it on a mannequin, but I know a lot of people would want to see me put it on kind of thing. Let's see, how many sabers do you own? I own like, I don't know, 5 or 6. That's it. I mean, if I got to keep every single saber that I've reviewed, then I probably would have like a whole wall filled with sabers by now. But it's just in order to continue to do lightsaber videos, I have to let go most of the ones that I get to get other hilts to do videos on or to check out other companies. That's just the only affordable way to do it. And the only reason why is because the thing is, I don't ask for funds. I don't ever ask for donations. I never promote any kind of merch or anything like that. Like, there'll be a lot of big creators out there who already make several $1,000s that will constantly spam you with, "Oh, check out my merch here. Here's my merch, this merch and that merch," and things like that, or donations here, donations that. I don't do any of that. It's like if people see the merch and they're interested, cool, there it is. If they see the donations tab and they're interested, cool, there it is. But I don't spam that at all because I don't like to force that down people's throats. You know, that's just kind of me personally. That's why I don't even do Patreons. Anything extra that I do, I usually do it on my Instagram account, and Instagram is free. So it's like, why would I charge, people money to do extra things on the channel or for extra behind the scenes when they could just get it free on another platform? So that's just kind of me. Everyone's different with their choices, which I'm not knocking anyone that does Patreon or anything. That's just me personally. I just don't like to do anything that extra. Would you be interested in a custom sound font one day? Uh, like my own special sound font? Is that what you're asking? Because if so, then yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, there's Fox. Everyone hates Fox. Have you ever played a Star Wars Legend game? Yes, I have. Ultimate Works versus Vader's Vaults. I don't think there's really a competition between the two because one is a little bit more on the affordable side, while the other one is a little bit more on the expensive side. And with Vader's Vault, you have a lot of customization options. So if there's a hilt that you like, there's a ton of ways to further customize it with weathering and Bluetooth and things like that. While Ultimate Works, the upside to them is that if you get an Ultimate Works lightsaber, well, you can just remove that chassis and put it into another hilt with a pre-kit option. So you have your interchangeable. So there's always a positive between the different companies. Let's see. Yes, I could make you one. Enjoy your content. Would be happy to create one for you. Well, that would be really cool. Thank you. What's a good cheap saber on Ultra Sabers? Let's take a look. What's the cheapest Ultra saber you can get? If you go build your own single blades, let's see, these are $60. So we'll go with Dark Initiate V2. Actually, no, we'll choose. Well, if you want laser etched, it's like $5 more. So we'll do Initiate Laser Edged V2, Stunt Saber. Do 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 do. Stunt Saber, you can choose any of the basic colors for free from blue, fire orange, green, blazing red, and or silver. So let's do blazing red on that one. Mid-grade blade, 24-inch. And so yeah, you can get it for as low as $65. So they're not that expensive. You just want like a cheap stunt saber to kind of practice with. What's the difference between Saber Trio and Vader's Vaults? Um, what's the difference? Well, both companies are praised and are really good between the two. So you can't really go wrong with any of those two options. I just think, if I recall, let's see if I can collect any of their sabers really quick. I don't think Saber Trio has as many options as Vader's Vault. Well, in terms of not only the helts, but as far as like when you select which hilt you want. Again, on Vader's Vault, you have a lot of the customization features, while here you just have the basic, which you can get a stunt saber, recharge stunt saber, FX, and or NeoPixel setup. So yeah, just mostly the customization options between the two, but I heard Saber Trio does a lot of good etched work. So if you wanted to get a saber from them and get like a specially etched one, I heard they do really good jobs with their etching in that department. Oops, go back here. What is better, Legacy or Force FX? I don't think I've had a Force FX saber, so I'm not familiar with that one. I'm only familiar with Legacy. What's a good first choice to start a collection? Um, Mostly depends on your budget. What is your, budget like? Like if you want something very cheap, maybe to kind of practice with. You could, I know there's some options on Amazon, or even just a very basic stunt saber from Ultra Sabers is not a bad choice too. Something to kind of practice your swinging with. Actually, that reminds me, how much is a double blade saber from Ultra Sabers, the cheapest? So the cheapest double bladed option is $120. So yeah, that's not bad. That's kind of like what I started off with getting a stunt saber. Well, lightsabers, you've been most impressed with blade hilt, etc. Most of the blades are kind of similar. I think the only difference with the blades is either the thickness or heaviness of it, and plus the the LED blade count inside the hilt. Because some companies may have brighter NeoPixel blades, while others are a little bit more dimmer. But yeah, as far as the hilts go, there's a lot of hilts that I've enjoyed that I liked. Like I said, probably the only one that I regret ever buying was the that Shadow Blade B1 from the pack store. That's probably the only one that I really ever regret getting. But it did help out quite a bit on the channel, so that's good. But yeah, there's a lot of hilts in general that I really liked. And it's not really one in particular. I mean, I'm always biased in terms of blades because I'm more of a huge fan of double-bladed sabers versus single-bladed ones, just because I don't know, for some reason I've always had better control with a double-bladed saber than a single-bladed one. I get lucky when I'm swinging a single-bladed saber in this room and I'm over here flinging it and stuff like that. I just get lucky with catching it or not hitting the ceiling. But that's just me personally. Thank you for reading the reply message. I hope you can continue to stay in contact. I still think of crazy paintball, target shopping, and bike riding. We did all this time. Yeah, well, thank you. It's definitely a lot of fun for sure. We'll have to get in touch again. Maybe one day if I'm in Texas, do some like retro video game. I remember, what was it, that the DDR game that you had on the Xbox? That was a lot of fun. Let's get him to 100K by the end of the year. Let's get to 100K before the end of the year, not by the end of the year. That way I can go extra Christmas special for the family. What's the difference between Saber Trio and Vader's Vault? There's not really that big of a difference between the two. The only main difference that I can think of on top of my head is Vader's Vault. There's a lot more hilt selection option versus Saber Trio. And when you buy through Vader's Vault, you have a lot more customization options for your hilts. The only main thing I've heard is that Saber Trio does really good jobs with their etching. So if you wanted a saber to be etched, then that's a pretty good option to go with them. Favorite lightsaber blade color is yellow. Let me see if my battery is charged. Yeah, the thing is these batteries take forever to charge. So it should be good enough to at least activate a couple fonts. Is the Ray lightsaber in the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge? Is it in stock? I have no idea. I don't keep track of Disney stock. Let's see. I don't know how the audio is going to pick up with this headset. Oh, that was loud.
It's time to let. Hello, Matt. I will cease hostility. Now this is. My name is Sam Flynn. My name is Sam Flynn.
Yeah, I had to read the same one. I forgot to change the font. Let's see. Where's the stream at? There it is. This might be too bright in here, but we'll see how this goes.
All combatants, prepare for Disc Wars.
There you go.
Combatant 3, round 1, victory.
I don't know if you guys were able to hear that okay or not. But this one I purchased, what was the company? Bendu Armory, I think it was. Let me double check. I just purchased it the other day. I believe it was Bendu Armory. They're actually, they got some saber fonts on their site. Yeah, it was from Bendu Armory. Yeah, they recently partnered up with Repulse Collectibles. And so if you go to Bendu Armory, I think some of their hilts come with some of these new fonts. I haven't bought a saber from them yet, but they added a bunch of new saber fonts. So this one was their Tron Legacy version. It's actually a pretty good package because you get like these custom a version of the announcer, but you also get the movie variant, which is on the next font over. But there's some nice ones here. Most of them are $10, or you can get a package deal with all of them in it. Let's see.
My name is Sam Flynn.
So this one would be the movie version.
Now this I can do.
So you notice the lights go one way and then go another way.
Combatant 3, victory.
So this one's got like a bunch of prions.
It seems that you are about to achieve your primary programming, Master.
No, go back.
My name is Sam Flynn.
There you go.
Combatant 3 versus Renslow. Team resolution. All combatants, prepare for Disc Wars. Team resolution.
So there's like, I think 9 prions from different dialogues from the Tron Legacy movie. Do you think Saber Trio is a good company? I've heard nothing bad about them. In fact, I would easily recommend Saber Trio. I've reviewed one of their sabers, the Vectra, I think it was. I had it to where it was a double-bladed version, which was really nice. And plus, it's CFX, so CFX is a good starter option for those if you're looking into getting a custom saber and kind of learning to add fonts, much more user friendly over Profi. Where can I buy that? The actual font. Oh, my bad. The actual font that I was just showcasing is from Bendu Armory. Actually, you know what? I'm on the stream right now, so let me just link it. So copy, and this comes with like CFX, Profi, and I think Golden Harvest for the option. So there you go. I linked it. I have a question. Would you be interested in doing Marvel content? I don't know. Depends. Like, oh, Marvel weapons. Okay, I was trying to figure out what you meant because, like, I tried to do a video on the Marvel campus, but during that opening weekend on that Sunday, I just had a bad time, and I didn't record when I went there again, where I had a much better time, just because I was trying to get what I lost on that Sunday. Um, Depends. I know Marvel's got a lot of really cool weapons. Actually, in fact, over at my GameStop, they have whatchamacallit, Thor's new, well, obviously Thor's hammer was destroyed, and he got a new one made specifically in the axe format. I saw that one over at my local GameStop. Looked pretty cool. Where'd you get the Star Killer Saber? The Star Killer Saber I got originally from Corbanth. It was the V1 model. Then the one they offer now is the V2. So this is the hilt that I've had with me quite a bit. Dude, I go to GameStop all the time. I love going to my local GameStop and supporting them just because, well, when it comes to video game selections, they're the only store around me, regardless of Best Buy or Target and heck, even Walmart, where, it's just a much better experience. And of course, used games too are always nice to get, especially for buy two, get one free. The only time Target does anything good is when it's buy any two new games and then get the third new game free. Yeah, but yeah, the merch over at Avengers Campus, I will say, is pretty basic. I didn't really see much there that they had that was like of desired elements, but definitely not as exciting as the Galaxy's Edge merch that they carry over there. There's always this one thing, because the GameStop was like right next door to me. They used to have this wooden sign hanging up, and I said to myself, if this location were to ever close down, I would want to keep that wooden sign. And I guess one day there was a bad weather, and that wooden sign dropped and broke. So I'm kind of heartening about that. But I've been like the one thing that I wanted to keep from that location if they were to ever close. But thankfully, this one does extremely well. What's the most expensive lightsaber? I'm assuming what is like maybe the most expensive that I reviewed. What is the most expensive that I reviewed? I would say maybe the Vader's Vault Kylo Ren. I would say was probably the most expensive that I reviewed. No, my bad. It was the Saber Forge. Which one was it? It was the What was the name of it? It was the foldable saber hilt, the one from the Star Wars Episode 9 with the Dark Ray. Whatever they were calling that one on Saberforge website, that was probably the most expensive saber that I've had in my hands and reviewed. Though I still wish that one was at least a Profi board. That would have been a lot better if it was Profi. Last question. What is the lightsaber? Do you want but have? Don't have an X. I want an W1. So the lightsaber that I truly want, let me see if Corbanth has it on their website. Give me 1 second to see if Corbanth still has it listed. Fingers crossed they have it listed. Let's see, printed crystal chassis. Is this it? Warband keeps changing their website format, and it's so annoying. 3D printed chassis. So the lightsaber that I really want the most, that I would love to get my hands onto and never let go, would be this one right here. So I just linked it there on the chat. If you go there, where did I put it? And just look at the images. You could see the lovely etched pattern on the actual handle, and you could actually use the mouse to get a closer look. It's a beautifully crafted saber. But if there's anything that I truly want the most, it would be that double-bladed lightsaber. How are you? I'm doing fine. What's the worst place to get a lightsaber, or do you have in your opinion? The worst place to get a lightsaber? DX sabers. That would probably be the worst. Some people have mixed feelings about Ultra Sabers, so I guess that could technically be on the list, but I haven't really had any major issues with Ultra Sabers because I get just a basic stunt saber. The only time I really had an issue with Ultra Sabers is they sent me the wrong connector to put the two sabers together, and it took, as far as their customer service goes, super weak. And it took probably about 2 months or 3 months just to get the right connector through their customer service, but that's about it. What's your next Hot Toys review? I still need to review the Darth Vader up here and the Luke Skywalker. I just been meeting to find. I was pointing up here, you guys can't even see it. The Vader and Luke, I haven't reviewed those. I've technically already reviewed the Scout Trooper here, the sideshow version, which now I have two of them, which I still get pure joy just seeing the two on the shelf along with these two. Because I got, Empire and then Return of the Jedi. I still want to get the the Mandalorian version. Which build is heavier, peace and justice or power and control? What piece is heavier, peace and justice or power and control? I feel like they're a little bit more equal because there's not as many like rubber pieces to them. I know Elemental Nature has a lot of rubber parts onto it, like the bone piece and the wood option, as they call it. So, what is your most expensive action figure? Huh. What is my most? I guess it really depends. I mean, if you're looking at the market wise now, depends on the figure. Like the sideshow Scout Trooper and the Speeder tend to go for a lot of money. Specifically, the Speeder tends to go for more than what it used to cost retail, which definitely wouldn't pay that much. And then the Luke Skywalker with the Cloud City outfit, that one's also pretty pricey. In fact, I was going to pull him over here, but he's currently hanging around because the Cloud City Luke Skywalker came with two figurines, and I have a display over here where he's actually hanging on to that radar dish thing, whatever it was at the end of the film, because it came with that as a display. Do you live alone? I know it's a weird question. I'm kind of curious. No, I still live with my family, and the reason why is because I mostly help out a lot with certain individuals having health issues and another individual having to almost do things entirely by themselves. I kind of play an important role where I help out the family a lot. So it doesn't make sense for me to try to move out and have my own place or most of the time I'm going to be back here anyways, helping out. So it just makes sense to deal with this situation first, and then eventually one of these days have my own place. Plus, I got the two puppies here too, so I'm not. I mean, technically, as far as this room situation goes, I have three animals in here. Got a bearded dragon and then two dogs. I know there's a lot of people that go, "Aha, you live with your family still," and it's like, do there's a lot of different reasons why people stay with their family. Either some people just don't have the funds to move out, maybe where they live is expensive, maybe there's more going on inside that family and there's a reason why they still stay around. So there's kind of like that situation. So that's as much info I'll probably give without going into a deeper detail. That's as much as you need to know. I would say probably one of the things that I get to do is, thanks to you guys, who watch the channel, as thanks to you, I get the chance to usually supply my family with a good Christmas and things like that. Be able to get my brothers and stuff like that, some special gifts. Because thing is, I'm kind of like I would rather other people be happy versus me. A lot of the times I'm always down, I'm always depressed, and I only care about others' well-being over myself. But there's those rare occasions that I try to treat myself to something once in a while, like getting that laptop. I wanted to have something on the go and that's portable and that I enjoyed. So it's thanks to you guys, I get to have something like that. It's funny because I keep bringing the word family because there's so many memes online after that new Fast and the Furious movie. A lot of people keep doing Star Wars memes where it's like Dom in different situations where like what was it like Skywalker looked over, he's like, Dom, what are you doing here? And then Dom's in his car in outer space. He's like, we're family, we look out for each other. Those memes have come and died in like one day. What type of lightsabers is your favorite? Mine is dual sabers. I love double bladed sabers myself. Are there any new updates at Galaxy's Edge? No, I don't think there's any new updates. The only thing I got at Galaxy's Edge, I showed it last time, was this cool mug that you can get at the Outfitters. This is a really cool mug right here. Does have the Galaxy's Edge, or the Mandalore Outer Rim is what it's called in the back for the tag here. But this is a nice cup. It's actually a ceramic mug. But yeah, that was, how much was that again? I already took out the label. I think it was $25, 25 give or take, so it wasn't too expensive. What's your favorite Legacy Saber? I like the Obi-Wan Darth Maul, Clone Wars Ahsoka, not the Rebel version because that one was too thick of a hell. Those were the main ones, and I also like the Ray one. Regardless, the Ray one doesn't activate on the freaking toggle switch like it should. But that one's also nice. It's like actually nice heavy saber, specifically for like displaying purposes. What dark side character is your favorite? I don't really have a huge. I don't really have a personal favorite. I just like a lot of various of characters. Favorite double bladed saber you own? Well, there's some that I had that I don't have anymore, like the Darth Maul, the Brother Saber. Those were some of the main ones, and the Fallen Order. Actually, generally, any double bladed saber that I've had my hands on, I generally liked. I think it would be really hard for me to find a double bladed saber that actually no. The one double bladed saber that I liked, but I was always worried about when I was playing with it was that again the dark ray saber, the foldable collapsible hilt. And the only reason why I was so worried is just because the locking mechanism, there was no way to ensure that it was locked. Because if you had accidentally put your hand on the wrong spot and deactivated it, you could have easily crushed your knuckles and things like that. That was probably the only double bladed saber that I've ever had my hands on that I was so scared of ever using, specifically spinning the blade. I would have to take it a lot more slower than what I normally used to because I was always worried about grabbing it. Because usually for a double bladed saber, a lot of times I'm grabbing it in the center. And when you have a saber that has a folding mechanism where the mechanism is right there in the center, that puts me off easy. Let's see. Do you have every legacy saber? I used to have every legacy saber, not anymore. Like I said, a lot of the sabers that I get, I ended up reviewing and mostly end up selling in favor of getting other helts to continue the lightsaber reviews. At least I try to. Like right now, I'm in a slow month where I don't really have a lot of things going on. There's a hilt that I'm looking at right now. In fact, on the Facebook group, it is a lightsaber from what video game was it? I think Star Wars Dark Forces. I think was the video game. But there's a hilt that someone is selling right now, and it's like I don't have the funds for it right now, but maybe at the end of the month, if it's still there, I'm probably going to look into picking up the hilt because I have the first version of the hilt, so it would make sense for me to get the second version. Are you excited about the Book of Boba Fett show? Of course. Have you upgraded your voice? Have you upgraded voice changers in the Black Series helmets? No, I haven't done any of that. Actually, the Black Series was it Boba Fett helmet doesn't have a voice changer. It just had that folding mechanism with the antenna piece. That was about it. Oh, let's see, James, love the channel. I got a question for you. Are you able to add song tracks on CFX? Yeah, you're able to add soundtracks. Heck, even on Profi, I also have sound files on here too. Let's see.
All commands, prepare for Disc Wars. Team President.
My name is Sam Flynn.
I think this one's got the one song I like. My portable MP3. So yeah, CFX or Profi, you could easily add songs, and your lightsaber can be your own portable MP3 player. Plus, bonus points if you know. I mean, obviously you know it's Clone Wars, but you get bonus points if you know the exact episode and or what's playing in the back right here. I just thought I kind of put you guys on edge, do a little test here. So, which episode is playing in the background right now of the Clone Wars? Which season and episode number? What do you feel about pike lightsabers? I've actually never had my hands on a pike lightsaber. In concept, I think a pike lightsaber looks really cool. And actually, thanks for bringing that up. I would love to get my hands on a pike lightsaber to review because I've always had not only a fascination with double-bladed lightsabers, but like I always like to spin a broom handle around kind of things. Like because in games like Dynasty Warriors or any like dynasty related game, I'm always using characters with like a spear kind of weapon. So I think because I am a big fan of weapons like spears, I think I'd probably be a huge fan of a pike lightsaber. So maybe one of these days, I can get my hands on an actual pike one or somehow put one together. That would be really cool to check out. I have a feeling that just how decent I am with double-bladed sabers, I'd probably feel like I'd probably be decent with the pike saber as well. That's my that's my personal guess, my theory. Are stunt sabers good? Yeah, I mean, what's nice about stunt sabers, depending on where you get yours from, you can get them relatively cheap. And it's just a really good way to practice. One of the good ways to practice, honestly, is just to get a basic stunt saber. If you can't afford a saber, then go to your nearest broom closet, remove the broom section of it, and then practice with that. That's what I've always done as a kid, where I'm always swinging the broom handle around. I'm sure we all done that as kids. Or wrapping paper. Wrapping paper makes good lightsabers when it's empty. Being able to practice with those too, even though the wrapping paper is much lighter, so it doesn't spin as lovely as a broom handle. But again, those are good ways to practice. See, first season, episode 1. Very good. What Force user would you be, Jedi or Grey Jedi or Sith? Not really sure. I guess it just matters what path the Force has for me. Where my path lies is a mystery. You don't have to read this. Wait, let's see. See, I was reading it out loud, then I got quiet. Nah, I'll read it out loud. So you don't have to read this out loud, but I will. Huge fan. I just wanted to say, keep up the amazing videos. So there, I read it out loud, even though you told me I didn't have to, but I chose to. One day I'm dueling you. You'd have to get past my army first. I said, stop. This is where they're like, oh, we could go right through. And then can't get through. Using sticks for training. See, yeah. Actually, the only downside for like a stick, like a twigs and stuff like that, is they could easily break. Especially if you're fighting your friend, you both have sticks, and it starts chewing apart. It's kind of like the Robin Hood Men in Tights scene, where they're over there fighting, right? And then as they keep fighting, their poles keep breaking to smaller and smaller chunks to where it's just a tiny little stick, and they just keep bashing each other's hand. Let's see, James, I'm looking at a saber right now. Do you want the link? Sure, if the chat allows it, or if the YouTube thing allows it. Sometimes things go into spam and sometimes they don't show up. What's your favorite blade color? Yellow being first, followed by blue at a second. Or if you want to get really creative and go for PC standards, then the RGB blade color. Because you can't go wrong with, chroma keys. Actually, right now it's on green for my Razer one, but it was all chromed out. What do you think of the Sifo DS lightsaber? I mean, this one? It's actually a good saber. I mean, the speaker is a little bit small. I would prefer a 28 millimeter speaker instead of the, I think it was 22. But overall, it's a nice hilt, and it's extremely comfortable. It's nice and thin. So definitely can't go wrong with that one. So yeah, this was actually given to me as a gift from a fan, which was a surprise to be sure, but a welcomed one. Normally I don't expect anyone to do anything nice for me. Just people watching the channel and clicking the subscribe button is the only gesture that you need to show me. I mean, if you wanted to click the subscribe button, if you haven't, then that's the only gesture. I don't expect anyone to send me gifts or things like that, you know. But I know some people want to. What's your main Kyber crystal? Like from the custom crystals that I have, or just like crystal color? I don't have a personal favorite Sith. I just like all variations of Sith and Jedi and Grey Jedi, or whichever terms you want to go for. What's the cheapest feeling lightsaber? And I mean cheapest feeling, not the cheapest when it comes to money. What is the cheapest? Let's see. Let me check Amazon. I know Ultra Sabers had one at $65. Let me see what Amazon is looking at. Amazon. Let's see. Lightsaber. I mean, I guess technically, if we want to be correct about the cheapest money can buy a lightsaber is the old school, and probably the ones you can still buy at your local Target or Walmart, plastic sabers, or even at Galaxy's Edge. They got the ones with, you know, the blade that folds right out. Let's see, Amazon. The cheapest one I see on Amazon is about $60, so the same as Ultra Saber, but the only difference is that with the Amazon one, you get a little bit of a better deal. Even though it's $60, the same as Ultra Sabers, but it has 7 colors rather than the 1 color. And I think there's like a cheap basic soundboard in there. Or heck, even one at $109. So it's probably the cheapest option here. Oh, the cheapest feeling. Probably the one on Amazon might be the cheapest feeling. The flick out blades, they're invincible. Dude, they are. Like the old school ones, like the early 2000s, I had a Qui-Gon Jinn one. That was the best toy that I had as a kid. I actually want to go on eBay and kind of buy the Qui-Gon Jinn saber from all those years ago. I don't think they're expensive at all. I'm kind of curious. Qui-Gon 2000 lightsaber. How much do those go for now? Okay, I don't want the action figure. I want the actual lightsaber. I don't know what you would type. Early 2000 lightsaber. Okay, I would need to figure out what I need to type in order to bring these search results up, if there's any available. Yes, I've tried Electrum Sabercraft before, well over a year ago. I love the help. I didn't like the electronics, and their app wasn't working for crap on my phone at the time. So I'm waiting to give them another chance. I'm kind of hoping that maybe some new changes will happen. I think they kept talking about some new hardware update or app update function. So I'm kind of waiting to see if something would happen with them before I give them another chance. But at the time of purchase, originally I ordered the EvoFlex, I believe was the name of it. It was nice weather, D-ring, great feeling help. I just hated the electronics, and I had no luck with their app function on their phone. What's your most expensive Star Wars purchase? What was my most expensive? I guess my most expensive purchase was the Vader's Vault Sovereign Elite. Where do you buy your sabers? Depends what I'm looking for. If I want one that's like in hand, quick and easy, It's usually through any of the Facebook groups that sells lightsabers, like the Lightsaber Facebook Marketplace or whatever uh, case may be, Lightsaber Star Wars Alliance or whatever the different groups are called there. If I want something in particular and I don't mind waiting, then Korbanth or Vader's Vaults or any other main companies that I reviewed here on the channel quite a bit. Oh, I don't think I don't remember if I showcased this one because I know I was talking about resin prints here. I know I showed this off as a image in the community tab. I don't think I got the chance to actually show you guys how it looks in hand with its sizing here. So the snow on the top here is called Valhalian Snow from what's that paint called? Citadel Paints. And all the figures here are done at 200% scale. And these are from Darkfire Designs, the same ones that I was showcasing the Lunch Trooper figure. And of course, all hand painted by me. How often do you go live? Not very often as far as YouTube goes. Pretty rare. But definitely had fun with this one. And then at first they were just in their white armor, but then I decided to add paint to kind of give it a little bit more a custom look because in Star Wars there's a ton of different clones. There's a lot of paint jobs that the clones have did in their armor, and so I wanted to do the same for this one in a custom scenario. In fact, the actual base here I took from um, what was it, Galactic Armory? I just printed out a bigger base from the Boba Fett one, and I just kind of tossed it onto here for that scene. Yes, I don't have any printed right now, but there is some Bad Batch figures in his Patreon. I think he has a Hunter one by default, but if you join his Patreon, you get access to the Bad Batch. It's kind of like this one. I haven't finished painting it yet. So we have Boba Fett right here. Is YouTube your full-time job? I'll get to that one in just a minute. So here we have a really nice base here. This was actually done with Citadel paints. You apply this wet paint on here and it dries up, leaving all these crack marks. And again, this is hand painted by me. Obviously, I'm not done. I still need to do the finishing touches here. I'm going to repaint the shoulder pieces here. And then I can't really do all the little tiny details on his helmet and the markings, but I'm going to try to do some of that on his jetpack here with like the stripes and stuff. I'm going to try to apply that, and I still need to paint the rest of his helmet. But again, this was also hand painted by me as well. So pretty good size there. He actually also recently released, and this is also a Galactic Armory file. He's also got helmets too, but he also recently released a Republic Commando figure. So I'm going to print that one too. Is YouTube your full-time job? No. Well, the thing is, for me, YouTube is not really a job, or at least for me, I'm not looking at it as a job. YouTube for me has always been utmost a hobby. I do work a full-time job, But yes, I do earn money here on this platform, but the only main concern that I have as far as YouTube goes is mostly just to provide entertainment for you guys. And thanks to you guys, I get the chance to kind of do some extra things here and there. But it's YouTube for me has always just about entertaining you guys more than anything. Let's see. What's your favorite lightsaber from movie and or series? So I've already stated that the Star Killer saber is my personal favorite in general. Actually, I forgot I still have my Infinity Gauntlet from Disney here. This is how you enjoy your drinks. Which, by the way, this was over at Avengers Campus. Probably one of the coolest souvenirs that I got from it. I was trying to figure out what I did with my PIM particles, and I don't remember where I put them because they're not up here at all. Darn. Hey James, I'm late. What did I miss? A lot of things. A lot of different things for sure. One has to go Nintendo or Sega. Well, by default, I grew up with Sega. So I can't really say Sega because the Sega Genesis was my first ever video game console growing up. I got that back in 1995. And I start to feel old when I start talking about things in the 90s. I'm a complete 90s person, by the way. I was born January 30th, 1990. So I'm a complete 90s child through and through. But for the longest time, I never knew that Sega had a various models for the Genesis, and then I ended up finding out that the model that I had was technically the Model 2 version, the slimmer, toned down version of the Genesis. If you could start your channel over, what would you do differently? Huh. If you could start your channel over, what would you do differently? I don't know. I don't know what I would have done differently. It's kind of a hard question. I mean, if anything, if I had good enough internet to where I could live stream here at this house, fortunately, no one wants to update the internet, even if I were to pay for the upgrades, because I had basically said, I would pay for fiber or whatever that we can get that would be better to give us much better, internet strength. I would love to do like video game live streams and stuff like that, but can't do that from here because everything would be laggy or the resolution would be terrible, and obviously that's not good enough. But if I had the corresponding internet here at this house, I would love to have mostly done weekly streams or something like that, maybe like every Saturday or Sunday. Just pick a game and play, or maybe a few other games. How long did it take you to start this whole community and your collection of everything? Back on my old channel, I was mostly just uploading random things that I thought were interesting to share. Like my first ever YouTube video. Actually, you know what? How about this? How many here would like a link to my first ever video made on YouTube? It's not on this channel, it's on another channel. But how many of you would love a link to said video? Okay, give me a moment. See if I could find it. Because I changed the channel name to kind of hide it. And the only reason why is because I didn't want this channel to be brought up to kind of mix in with this channel. There used to be a lot more videos on this channel, but you know, things had happened and I deleted most of the videos already. I just left some of the videos on there. So here we go. Here is a link to the first ever YouTube video that I posted. I'm going to link it here on the chat. And take note of the way I talk in that video. Obviously, back then, I didn't have any fancy camera. Back then, I had a little flip video. So there you guys go. There is the link. Uh-oh, what happened? I lost you guys. Where did my chat go? Pop out chats. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm not afraid. I only hid that other channel. I mean, obviously, I changed it to Gamer Fusion Nintendo just to kind of hide it under the rug. But you know, obviously, back then things were different. It used to be, well, what this channel is called, Sir James Gamer Fusion. There used to be a lot more videos on there, but those are come and gone. And what remains is just some, you know, legacy left behind. In fact, some of those videos, like one or two of them, you could see the transformation of my room as well. Like there used to be shelves in the back before the whole Star Wars layout. And I used to have a bed in here. Now I just have a mattress on the floor. Will we be going to Avengers Campus and getting merch? There's not really a lot of merchandise there that caught my interest as far as Avengers Campus goes. A lot of the merch were pretty basic. I mean, there's a T-shirt there that I want that I liked. I think the Spider-Man goggles that they have there that's got like the eye gestures, I think are pretty cool. And then I mostly got some of the things I want, like that little gauntlet souvenir, the Pim particle capsules from the Pim Kitchen. Those were pretty nice. But I didn't really see anything that was like, oh, I gotta have this kind of thing at Avengers Campus. What's the current gear that you use now for your YouTube videos? Camera, mic, software. Well, actually, that's nice because I'm using this cheap webcam, so I could actually showcase things now without using the camera. So this is what I'm using now. This is a Sony, was it A6400? Trying to find the name here somewhere. I believe this is the Sony A6400 camera. It's a camera that's capable of 4K and 30 frames, or you can do 1080p up to 120 frames, give or take. I would like to have a 4K camera that could do 60 frames, but haven't found one to my interest. And then over here is just a Rode video mic. I have two different ones. This one was actually one that I found that was being thrown away that actually works without any issues. And then I have an original one that's a lot longer that I had with a boom stand. But overall, I like this camera. It's very good. It's got great autofocusing features. And what I have on here for a lens is a 16 millimeter. Actually, no, was it 16? I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, 16 millimeter Sigma lens is what I have for the lens. This thing's heavy, so there's a lot of weight to this. So it'd be hard to vlog with something like this with all this weight just dangling there. Well, that's what I use right now. Due to the difference in UK, I've been missing your live streams on Instagram. Yeah, I tend to live stream on Instagram at different various times, just whatever's more convenient. Have you been watching Loki? Yes, I have. I can't wait for the newest episode, seeing how the last one ended, especially that the way the last episode ended. You have an A600, 16 Sigma, and 2 Canons. I used to have a Canon camera. Which one was it? Can't remember which Canon camera that I have, or had. But I eventually upgraded from that one to the Sony one because I wanted to record in 4K, and the Canon camera that I had couldn't do 4K. But it wasn't bad of a camera, but I definitely, between the two, I'm definitely happy with the Sony one. That first video was funny to see. Yeah, what was that first video about again? It was the Wii Afterglow controller. And then I got like the Call of Duty PS3 controller in there, or Black Ops for the Nintendo Wii. And then I eventually got a new camera that I showed in that video, which was a Sony Handycam, which eventually went to the Canon camera to now the Sony camera that I have today. So that's kind of like the history of the cameras that I've had. Hey, do you know what if a kit can't? Hey, how do you know if a kit can't fit into a HELTS? What HELT and what kit specifically are you looking at? That way I have an idea of which one. Do you recommend the camera you use to film at parks or for general stuff? Um, yeah, I mean, I've recorded a few things at the park with this camera. Just again, it's a little bit more of a heavier setup. It's just that, for me personally, I don't like to bring this with me to the parks, and the only reason why is because if something were to happen to this camera while I'm at the Disneyland park, maybe I drop my bag or my bag goes missing or whatever the case may be, then I would be out of being able to make videos because this is what I used to record my YouTube videos with. So I try not to bring this with me to the parks anymore just because if anything were to happen to this, I wouldn't be able to film the content for you guys. I would be stuck using a lower end quality through a phone, and I'm trying to dive away from that. Oh, let me open the door for my dog here. Hey, you want me to open the door? There you go. There you go. Oh. You can go. Premium Lightsaber kits. I don't think I'm familiar with that one, so that one I'm not entirely sure. Do you still use KR Saber's flagship? I just got mine in the mail. I don't have that hilt anymore. As I mentioned, a lot of the hilts that I get, I usually review, and then usually a few days or a couple weeks after the review, I end up selling the hilts to fund another lightsaber for the channel to review. That's the only way I'm able to mostly do the lightsaber videos. I forgot I had this one that I haven't redone yet. What's another? This is actually from one of the classic ARC Troopers from the early 2000s Clone Wars. I have to reprint this one because some of the supports, for whatever reason, stuck to the body. But I just kind of kept them around just because he was a good size for display. Just to have in the background. Massive printing kit. It's from my sabers. What's your favorite Star Wars item you have? Could I get an email from you? Sure. Let's see. 1 second. Let me type in an email here. There's one of the few emails that I have. In fact, that email there was the very first email that I've ever created in my entire life. And if that name isn't familiar with you, that's perfectly fine because the Compact CQ60 is actually the very first computer that I ever had in my life, like my own personal computer. It was a gift, a laptop specifically, that was given to me from my parents way back in the 2000s. Hey, Leia. Let's see. How do you do such precision applications of the paint on the models? Um, honestly, I don't know how to explain. Obviously, one of the best ways is to have a paintbrush with a point to it. Obviously, I got a bunch of brushes here. Most of the paintbrushes here are a cheap package from Michaels. You can get this paintbrush package deal for like $10. That comes with flat brushes and non-flat brushes. So my personal favorite brushes that I like, one of the first ones are these flat ones that comes in those cheap packs. The reason why I like these flat ones is because when you have a large surface area, it makes applying to that area a lot more easy without having to keep dipping your brush. And then for anything that's for like the finer details, you would want something with a point. Let's see. So like these, for example, these are detail brushes. You'll notice here, let me bring an example back out again. So if you kind of see the difference here, there's this flat one here that's a lot of brushes on here for surface areas compared to the little pinpoint here where there's barely anything there. So these are really good for getting in those details and those crevices. So the key thing is just having a good brush with a point to it that you can work with. And you want to take care of these brushes too, because paintbrushes, I found out that depending on what you want to get, they can get super expensive. I could just get the cheap basic stuff. I don't spend a lot of money on brushes, but I've seen like a single brush I saw online go for as much as like $100. I'm just like, what? But that's basically the key thing there, and also is also having a steady hand. Because here's the thing: because this guy right here, he looks really good, right? He doesn't he doesn't look like he's got a lot of mispaints or anything like that. That's because usually I try to do the hard to reach areas first with the detail brushes, and then I go over and paint the other stuff. And you'll find me like if I were to ever do a paint session, you would find me constantly going back to the same area that I just did multiple times with a little tiny brush with just a little bit of paint to fix any mistakes that I make. And typically, the only time that I tend to brush or I paint is usually when I'm either really bored or I'm feeling really depressed is the only time that I paint. And the reason why is because my results look like this. When I'm bored or depressed, my results look like this. They look almost professionally done. I'm an amateur guy. Like I don't have any skills painting. I don't have a history or years of experience. I literally started painting figures this year, literally a couple months ago. I didn't watch any tutorials online. I didn't watch any how-tos. I just basically try to figure out what paint colors are going to work for whatever it is that I'm trying to paint. Half the time I'm eyeballing it really. Just like everything here I eyeballed as far as the colors. I didn't bother to look what the actual colors were used for them because all the paint's different. Some paints are called different things, and it's so frustrating. Like if you look at the color brown, there's probably 50 variants of brown out there, and it's so annoying. So yeah, I just eyeball it and I just kind of take my time and eventually I surprised myself because like when I was done painting him, I looked at it and I was like, I did that. Let's see. No, DX Sabers are not great. I don't know how that word. Oh, I didn't ban the other variations. I actually banned the first version of DX Sabers. Do not ever buy from DX Sabers. Never. Do not. Avoid that company. I would rather you go to Ultra Sabers than DX. Just saying. Can you tell me how to paint really well? So yeah, it's a matter of practice makes perfect per se. Oh, and also the other neat thing that I did with this guy too that I never mentioned is inside his cup here, I actually put liquid um what was it? Green resin. It was a see-through resin that I put in his cup. So this guy's technically got green milk in his cup here. And I'm going to do the same thing on this larger version here. So this guy here is basically going to be what he looks like, just all painted up. Where do you get 3D files? There's various places, such as Thingiverse is one for like some free stuff. For some paid stuff, there is cgtrader.com with some different models. Or if you want like some of these models here, like like this guy is free. There is, let me get the link here from Darkfire Designs. And then we go back to the chat here. So the files here I've been mostly showing like with the where'd the stream go? So like a lot of these that I've been showcasing here, all these are from the same person, Darkfire Design. So this one here, again, the Lunch Trooper, this guy's actually a free file that you can get. He's also got a free commando file. You also, again, you got, the clone medics and so forth. So there's a lot of variations there. And what's cool about his trooper pack too is that he's got some packs where you can get it with you could again change the helmets to phase 1 or phase 2 or no helmets. You could even change their weapons. He's even got a Jedi Temple Guard, which what did I do with my Temple Guard? Oh, here you go. I haven't painted him. I was kind of practicing with the yellow, but again, we have a Jedi Temple Guard file too. It's actually got all the keys and stuff on there. Now keep in mind that these that I'm showcasing here, these are upscaled. So I increased it to 200%. I think he's 300%, and then he is 400% scale. If you got an account on 3D Program, search for designs that people set online. Can you show us your desk setup, please? It's kind of hard with this camera. It's not the best way to show it. It is well is great to Billy. It just as long as you avoid DX Sabers, you're good. Dark Wolf, yeah. Like if you I would rather you go with Dark Wolf or Crimson Dawn or what was the one again? Starts with a B. Bandu Armory. Oh, Bendu Armory, my bad. Yeah, any of those options would be a lot better to go with. It just depends on which company you go for. Like Vader's Vault is definitely going to be a long wait. Saber Trio opens up a few times a year, and they're also a long wait. Or even Corbent's got some. Actually, you know what? Let me check Corbent. Corbent's been their stock has been pretty low. So let's see what they actually have in stock right now that's not sold out. Okay, they must have recently restocked because last time I was on Corbant's website. No, wait. They do this annoying thing. I hate it when Corbant has things here and you click on it and then it says sold out. Okay, never mind. So it looks like the majority of the hilts on Corbant's website are in fact in stock. So that's good. Let's see. What 3D printer do you use? So the Resin 3D printer that I have is called the Anycubic Photon Mono. I have two of them. I have the smaller one, which the smaller one is like $250 or less. And again, it's just a small overall build plate. But if you want something a little bit bigger and that's still under 1,000, then there's the bigger brother of that one, which is called the Anycubic Photon Mono X. I've been using the Mono X, and honestly, I love the Mono X just because of the larger build plate. So it gives you more surface area to work with, and you could put more files on that build plate versus just the basic Anycubic Mono. But definitely a good choice there. Other than Troopers and Vader scene, what minis do you want to print? There's a handful of minis and stuff like that I want to print. I think I have some stuff bookmark. Let me see what I have bookmarked here. I have a model for. Actually, I'm just going to load up some of these here, and then I'm just going to link them on the chat so you can see what I'm talking about. Because visually seeing and then me talking about it are two completely different things. Let's see, Scout Trooper. So there is a model here that I would like to print of Ahsoka Tano. There is the Scout Trooper model that I would like to print. It's going to be different, so keep that in mind, but I would love to print this one. What else do we have here? For a non-Star Wars character, there's this one that I would like to print. So these are just some examples of the models that I would like to eventually print, especially that 3D Knights. It's actually on sale right now for $24. Are you going to upload the stream after it's finished? It's going to be unlisted, as always. The only reason why I don't have the streams go up as a normal video is because the quality of the stream doesn't match with the quality of the other content on the channel. So I try not to mix those in with everything else. Let's see. I see the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. What's your favorite game to play on them? So I had recently played the newest Ratchet and Clank game, Rift Apart, on the PlayStation 5. Beautiful game. I think they did an excellent job with that one. And then on the Xbox, what was I playing? I just recently downloaded Battlefield 5 on the Xbox just because I was kind of curious what weapons I was using then, because there's a weapon that I used on the assault class that I really liked, and I couldn't remember what it was since I'm now playing Battlefield 5 on PC instead. So I've recently got that info. But I haven't played anything recently on the Xbox, just because, again, most of the time, what's on Xbox you can also get on PC for the most part. So yeah, not much really. I think my little brother mostly plays the Xbox over me. Let's see. A scout trooper is something else, right? I thought it was different just because I was like, hey, this is different. And I like the scout trooper design. And I was like, oh, it's a female character. And I was like, I like it. Simple. It's funny because like when you search up models related to that one, there's a lot of various of different ones. Let's see. What else do I have here that's saved? There's one that I've already printed that I want to reprint in a larger size. Oh, there's this one too. Let me link you this file. This one is Luke Skywalker and Master Yoda. Let's see. Let's see. You should have a look at Dark Alliance Dungeons and Dragons game. I heard. Let's see. I think that's the newest one, if I remember correctly, right? I heard a lot of bad things about the newest Dungeons and Dragons video game. Yeah, that's the newest one. I've heard a lot of negatives surrounding that title compared to some of the other Dungeons and Dragons titles out there. When's the next Disney trip? Either sometime this month or next month. I was mostly waiting for everything to reopen by the time I go back. And then also I'm hoping for a little bit of a cooler weather time, so I'm not dying in my outfit. Let's see. The Pack Store is a good place to buy your first NeoPixel Saber. Yes, Pack Store is a good option. What's nice too is that if you go with their Ultimate Works versions of the sabers, and it's kind of a nice way to build a collection because if you go with Ultimate Works, you can actually remove the chassis and put it into other hilts. So as long as if you end up getting another hilt, you choose the pre-kit option, then it kind of it allows you to save quite a bit of money and to build a collection. Fortnite has a bunch of Star Wars and Marvel skins. I don't play Fortnite. Actually, I don't play any Battle Royale game. I just have no interest in Battle Royale. So, Fortnite, what else has Battle Royale? Call of Duty, I think, has actually almost any game that I could think of has a Battle Royale type mode. Yeah, I just don't care for it. Never been a Battle Royale type person. Actually, I got excited because when they announced the new Halo game, was it Halo Infinite or whatever it's being called? There was there's what was it? The president or whatever was saying like, yeah, Halo's not going to get a battle royale because there's no need to have it in every game. And I was like, thank you, finally said something. But Oh, a game that I've been recently playing as well that you guys might like for anyone that likes anime style games is oh, what the hell was it called? It was just on tip of my tongue right when I'm about to say it. It's Scarlet Nexus. Is a really good title that I would recommend. Recently came out, was it this past week? Do you know any good proto saber for training like saber training? That I am not entirely sure. I forgot I had my glasses on the entire time and I was so uncomfortable with this headset. Any word on Comic Con coming back? I think a lot of the conventions are supposed to come back next year, which for those of you who know, there's a Star Wars convention that was pushed off, but the Star Wars convention is supposed to be here in California, over right next to Disneyland, actually, just right across the street, mostly from the Toy Story parking lot. So hopefully next year, because the thing is, when I turned 30 back in, well, last year, I had plans on going to a bunch of conventions. You know, from being now in my 30s, I was going to go all out for my first year, go to as many conventions was going to be the main plan, filming and stuff like that, cosplaying. Then, the stupid pandemic hit and canceled all that plan. And still, even this year, it's still not happening. But next year, I'm hoping to go to WonderCon. Hopefully, that's still happening, and then the Star Wars convention as well. But that's going to be the main thing. No, don't go with DX Sabers. Never go with DX Sabers. Always avoid DX Sabers, is the main saying. There's way too many stories, people getting scammed, lack of customer service involving DX Sabers. I even seen some of his videos where someone was having issues and he literally told a customer that bought something from him that's having issues getting hold of him at all, basically told that person to go F off. That's the customer service DX Sabers gives people. If a Saber is not working, he will block you. If you want a refund, he will block you. So these are just some fun prime examples on how not to do customer service with anybody. Actually, in fact, I think I saw somewhere that someone was trying to do like a lawsuit against DX Sabers. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. The other fun thing about that particular company or person, if you will, is that he called everybody else in the Saber community basically terrorists, and that he's the only one that's legit. He's also, yeah, he targets TikTokers who don't know any better. That's the annoying part. I've seen it to where he stole other people's designs and he's either chopped out their logo or watermarks or whatever, and it's like, oh, this is mine. Everything's made in house when none of it's made in house. So yeah, way too many shadiness. So the main thing is always avoid DX Sabers. If it ever is brought up, avoid or just block. But he targets people that don't know any better. Let's see what else. Starting to get really hot in this room. It was doing good, and now we're in the part where the weather's kicking up, and I'm starting to get a little bit of hungry. Or hangry? No, hangry is when you're hungry and angry at the same time. I'm just like in the neutral zone, like I just want a bite to eat. The one person that dislikes is probably the owner of DX here. Lovely. Have seen Citadel paints at a local store called Vaulton. Yeah, I noticed Citadel paints are a little bit more money, just because of how good of a quality of paints they are. So that seems to be about the prices they go for, maybe slightly less. In fact, the which one was it? Like this one here, the Valhallian and Blizzard. This is the snow effect that I used on this display here. Like this one was a bit more costly because of the type of material it is. Like this can be expensive. So yeah, that seems about equal in price. And of course, on their website too, they have a lot of options too. But the paint that I've also used that's a bit cheaper as far as the cost of the bottles was Testers. They're like a dollar something. So that's an alternative choice that you can go with is Testers, or you can use the mix of the two. Usually, I just anytime that I buy paint, it's usually based on what's available. Because I typically go to Michael's all the time because it's literally right next door to me versus driving 20 minutes down the road to uh, uh, basically a hobby town. And I just basically eyeball what is available. And if the type of paints that I use aren't there, I kind of get something a bit different, like acrylic paints. Those are also cheap, but sometimes you have to apply extra coats to them until you get that smooth finish. Like he was done with basic cheap acrylic paints, and he turned out amazing. So results would always vary depending on what you use. Did you see KR Dark Ray Lightsaber? It looks pretty cool. Yeah, I've seen that one. I'm still waiting for KR to give us a release date for the Ray lightsaber with the whole working mechanism and everything. I just don't know when that's going to be. What legacy sabers do you want to see next? I don't know if he answered. They should really do a Qui-Gon Jinn legacy saber because we have Obi-Wan, we have Darth Maul. So let's finish the Episode 1 era with Qui-Gon Jinn and give us a Qui-Gon Jinn legacy lightsaber. Is what we need. Because everyone wants that collection, Episode 1. I'm sure most people have the other two hilts already. So give us that third option. Let's see, how much did you enjoy the second Sister Saber? I enjoyed it. It's just it's not really a practical hilt because of the rings. Again, I like double-bladed sabers, but that's probably one of my least favorites, just because as far as the usability goes, that the rings would get in your way, and I would be a little bit more cautious with that one. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a nice hilt. It's just for practical use. It's probably it would be nice to have for like cosplaying at that. Are you still waiting for yours? Yeah, a lot of this stuff, it was kind of weird because Ultimate Works, they had up pre-orders for quite a few things. Some stuff that came out way sooner than others, like the Vin Zaro saber. Both versions of that already came out, and that pre-order wasn't even up there for so long. But then the Pack Store Fallen Order hilt, the double-bladed one, that's taking forever to come out. And I know there's supposed to be another hilt that would actually connect with the Fallen Order one, kind of like in the video game. And who knows when that's going to go up for pre-order and release. So a lot of stuff keeps getting pushed back, unfortunately. So I think there's a supply and demand issue kind of going on overseas where they're located, or maybe factories aren't fully up in capacity yet. I don't know, obviously, what goes on behind the scenes. A lot of us don't really know. So that's the one thing that we have to keep in common. keep in mind is we don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes for the different companies. I know at one point, I think there's still a shortage in Profi boards. At least at one point, I heard something about a Profi board shortage and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff that still gets delayed and pushed back. Oh, let me bring something here for a second. Oh, I'm sorry, Leia. Something I wanted to mention really quick. Is about this Alienware laptop right here. Is that this is a model that can be found on Best Buy's website for like 2,000, 2,100, give or take. And this Alienware model here has it's a 1080p display at 300 hertz for the refresh. The Intel i7 10th gen. The only downside really is that this actually only came with like 500 gigabytes of storage, but is upgradable with an extra M.2. The only reason why I'm just kind of mentioning this really quick is overall, this is actually a really good laptop for those of you looking for a decent gaming laptop. A lot of the games that I play, like Star Wars Battlefront 2, Battlefield 5, and some of those heavy hitters, I've been getting good frame rates up to as high as 170 for some of these bigger titles. And just want to kind of mention that, before I take this one back, it's really good. And the only reason why I'm taking this back is because I'm going to be getting the upgraded model from Dell's website. Oh, Xander's here. Sir Jones. He always calls me Sir Jones. Actually, let me boot on this laptop for you guys. So I can kind of talk a little bit more about it. But thank you, Xander, for the $10 donation. Favorite candy? I love Reese's peanut butter cups. Reese's peanut butter cups are the bomb. And one of my favorite things to get is somebody here? One of my favorite things to get at let's say Wiener Schnitzel, for example, is the Frosty, where it's a Reese's peanut butter cup Frosty. It's delicious. Easily recommend. Hold on, I want to see if someone's at the gate really quick. Let's see. Okay, that's who it was. The Bucks fell. I guess my mom and brother are back from their trip at the zoo. So this Alienware laptop right here, again, you can find at Best Buy's website, is a very good gaming laptop with, this one is equipped with the RTX 3070 graphics card. And it has a TDP, I think is the term for the power supply consumption, which is spits out at like 140 or whatever for the voltage, giving you a really good graphical performance with that RTX. But easily recommend for sure. It does come with a pretty chunky power supply. Kind of put all this back. Oh, what up? Leia. Leia. A lot of things going on over the background here. Hey bro, how was your weekend? My weekend was pretty much all right. I was mostly playing again Battlefield 5 because, as some of you probably know, is that I'm super excited for the newest Battlefield installment, which definitely can't wait to get my hands on that one. I think that one comes out in October, if I'm not mistaken. But I do want to link you guys to the one that I'm going to be getting laptop-wise. Let's see, Alienware 15R6. And it's basically an upgrade from the one that I have here that I just showed you. The main difference is that for the price of $40 difference, it's just a much better deal, and plus a bigger hard drive space instead of the smaller one. Alienware M15. So let me just find it really quick so I can link you guys. Let's see, M15R6. And I think it's right here. Okay, let me link you guys. So here's the one that I'm going to be getting instead. Sir Jones, Chris says hi. Hi, Chris. Hey, bro, are the Ahsoka Clone Wars Legacy Sabers worth it? Yes, I would say they're worth it. A pretty good value at $200. You get 2 healths and it changes color. So yeah, just obviously the one that's not available anymore is the Rebels version. Like I would avoid that one just because of how chunky they are. But the Rebels one I did like. See, Sir Jones, Chris says hi. Well, hi back to you, Chris. And Xander or whoever is watching from that account. So the one link that I put there from the Dell site, that's the one that I'm going to upgrade to from the one that I have right here, just because that one has a 4K display, faster RAM speeds, and just, again, it's a $40 difference, so it just makes sense. I just have to play the waiting game, of course. I'm going to Disney World, Florida this year. Let's see, I'm going to Disney World this year at Greetings from the Netherlands. Well, greetings back. Hopefully you have a good time. You know where I want to do? I want to go to Florida to go to, not the Disney World. I mean, it would be cool to check out Disney World in Florida, but I really want to go to Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, because the Universal Studios over there, I heard, is way better and, of course, much bigger compared to the one that we have here in California. The California one is it's small. You could literally spend half the day and get everything done on a good day. But I would love to go to the one at Universal Orlando. That would be a fun experience. Other than Star Wars minis, any plans for minis that aren't Star Wars stuff you're into? I would love to print like a whole medieval setting of knights. I have a knight here that I've printed. I don't know how well it's going to show. You know, like this guy. He is actually my first miniature that I painted. And I always have this thing with minis, you know, or specifically knights. Something with the medieval setting has always stuck with me throughout life. Like in school, you know, I suffer, I still have it, like ADHD. But when I was younger and in school, my ADHD basically got the better of me. So I was always distracted by every little given thing. And anytime medieval was brought up, like my ADHD switched off and I was completely focused all the time anytime medieval settings were brought up. I don't know. I think there's maybe a past history with me in that timeline. But I do have a bunch of other stuff here. that are not Star Wars. You know, like this creature here, and these are from what was the company name? Shoot, what was the name? I'm trying to remember the name of the company. It's another subscription-based service for like $15 a month. Do you use YouTube Premium? I do not. I don't pay for anything extra on YouTube. We got, cool busts here. Another fun one here. See, these kind of look like something from God of War, but these aren't God of War files. Oh, Loot Studios was the name. So yeah, these are from a company called Loot Studios. It's a pretty cool place if you want like a lot of themed miniatures. It's like $15 a month type subscription, but they give you like a bunch of files too. Things from busts to figures and all that. Like here's some examples here, just to kind of show you the amount of details these things have. Like again, obviously this webcam is crappy, so it's not going to do it justice. But you can see with these wolves here, you can see all the hair and everything, their claws, and the leaping motion. So these are great. Did you blow up anything on 4th of July? Nope, because fireworks are technically illegal here in Corona, even though people are still doing it anyways. And I had to comfort Leia because between the two pups, Flower, which is the black puppy, she didn't mind the fireworks, but Leia, which is my dog that, or actually both are mine, but she's the one that I picked out between the puppies. She doesn't like fireworks. She was literally hiding under my desk when I was playing a game. And when we went to bed, I was literally comforting her the entire time. She was so scared. So I had to up the volume and everything to keep her distracted from the sounds of the fireworks on the outside. She was not liking it at all. You should look into Asus-FF. Oh, the Asus dash F15 gaming laptop. It's $2,000 with an RTX 3070, 40 gigabyte RAM. Well, that's pretty good. Do you know what was it, the term? The TGP, I think, was the term. Oops, let me go here. Laptop. Yeah, TGP. Do you know the TGP counts for that one? The reason why I asked that is because obviously for a laptop, the higher the number that TGP is, the better overall graphical performance you're going to get for whatever card that's in there. So it's like, let's say if I had a computer laptop with an RTX 3070 and the TGP on one was 100, while let's say, for example, the Alienware I think was like 130, 140, and obviously the Alienware one would outperform that other one as an example. There was an Asus one that I was looking at that I thought was cool, but it was just out of my budget. Actually, it would have been in the budget, but because of the supply and demand issues, it's currently up in price because of that. Out of all the Legacy Sabers, which one is your favorite? Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, Clone Wars, Ahsoka. And then I also like the Ray one, regardless that the Ray one doesn't activate how it's supposed to, but still a nice heavy prop, regardless. What else do we have here? Another example from the shop there is that we have this wizard. As you can see with this wizard, he's got the flowing cape and everything. Kind of reminds me of Gandalf a little bit, of the "you shall not pass" kind of moment. But yeah, these are some really cool files here. Or little barricades. Careful, these are quite sharp. So those are just some of the examples of other stuff that I've resin printed. Oop. What's your favorite season of Clone Wars? I have a lot of different seasons, so it really depends on the episode. What did I miss? You missed a lot of things, that's for sure. Actually, I still have my little Galaxy's Edge coasters. So these are from the cantina. Oh, this one's just a duplicate, but I just usually turn it around for that one. And then that one. I still need to get a frame to put these in. For now, I just kind of keep them here in this little, this nice little pouch here for safekeeping. Where do you get the D-ring? You could find them on various places, along with like Etsy. You could find D-rings on Etsy too. Just put like lightsaber D-rings, so nothing else would pop up. What's your top 3 Star Wars movies? I'm only used to picking out one. Oh, someone messaged me on Facebook too. But I'm used to picking up one, which is the which one? Empire Strikes Back is my personal hands down favorite. Thanks for the stream, James. I'm going to head out. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your day as well. I'm actually thankful to have today off. I was kind of surprised when my work said, "Oh, you don't have to work Monday. We're also considering that as a holiday." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Don't mind if I do." Oh, by the way, there's another 3D file here that I would like to print. I forgot to share this one with you. I know a lot of people don't really care too much about episode 7, 8, or 9, but this is a cool model here that I would love to print of Luke Skywalker. How do you feel about the new Star Wars Vision series coming? Do you like anime style? I love anime style. Like if you go on YouTube and look up Star Wars anime, there's some people that did like little intros with an anime style art to it. And I'm sitting there looking at this. I was like, dude, imagine Star Wars with the anime art style to it. You can do so much with that. Like the well, the sky's the limit because you can do so much with that. And I feel like that's going to be pretty successful. I know there's a huge market for that. And just anime mixed in with some Star Wars, I think these are just kind of a perfect lineup for these things to have. Nice look figure. When did you first see Star Wars movie? Obviously, it was course, when I was younger, I don't know what my first Star Wars movie was. That's the thing that bugs me. Like, I could remember my first video game console, but as far as like what's the first Star Wars film that I've seen, I don't really know what my first Star Wars movie was. It's just for some reason Empire Strikes Back, in regards to original trilogy, is the one that sticks to me the most. So maybe Empire was my first. I don't know. Maybe I did legit see episode 4 before I saw episode 5. I'm assuming it's at some point when I was young and my cousins were over, and I think someone checked out Star Wars and we all watched it together. So I'm assuming episode 4 was my first, but I can't remember exactly which one was my first, if that makes any sense. I don't have the best childhood memories. I only have some memories of my childhood lingering on that were like some of my favorite moments, or moments that, it's kind of like if you ever seen that one movie, was it Inside Out? You know how there's those orbs of memories and stuff like that for joy and angry and so forth, and there's like the core memory orbs. That's basically what I'm going through. I got my core memory orbs, and then the rest have vanished. Like the core memories are like the ones that kind of make you who you are today. Agree. I hope you see some reviews. Let's see, nice old Luke figure. I'm back. Welcome back. Did you see the video of the Black Series Darksaber on here? Thoughts? Yes, I did. The one that was in Japanese. I basically liked, for the most part, everything that I saw in that video. The only thing that was a bit off-putting, and it could be that maybe she has much smaller hands. It's kind of hard to tell, obviously, because every person is, different in terms of sizing and built structure and so forth. But either she had small hands, or the actual handle of the hilt for the Hasbro Dark Series was chunkier. So that one has me a little bit concerned. Even though I do like how the lighting looked on the blade, obviously much improved over the Galaxy's Edge one, and the fact that all the emitter lights actually light up instead of halfway like the Galaxy's Edge one is also much improved. And I'm kind of curious how the sound quality is going to be. I did notice that in that video there was like a slot in the bottom, so it looked like. Do I not have one sitting right here next to me? I thought I did. Okay, apparently I don't have a D-ring sitting next to me. I thought I did. But it looked like in the bottom of the Hasbro Dark Saber, it looks like you could actually put a D-ring on there. So that's good. Why do you like Empire Strikes Back? It's just something about Empire Strikes Back sits well with me. I don't know exactly why. Just like out of all the Star Wars films, it's the one that sits with me. So I must have had something in my childhood that made Empire stick with me for so long. I just don't exactly remember what that memory was. It's kind of locked in the vault somewhere in the back of my mind. Like Cheez-Its, like some people might want to know, why do I love Cheez-Its so much? Like in some of my old videos, I had like 3, 4 boxes sitting on my desk. I don't have any right now because I just finished my box yesterday. Again, it's another thing from my childhood. For some reason, as a child, I somehow fell in love with Cheez-Its, and it still sticks with me today. I think Cheez-Its is my secret to having that young youth appearance, even though I'm 31 years of age, but I look like I'm in my 20s. That's my secret ingredient right there. Also, the figures you are designing, painting, a really cool aspect. Have you seen? So gifted. So again, I can't take any credits for I don't take any credits for designing these models because I didn't design any of these. These are designed by other people who 3D sculpted them and put them up available. The only credit that I can take is doing the painting. So I take credit for doing the actual hand painting, but I don't take credit for actually the model. Even though I did print them on the machine, but I didn't actually 3D sculpt the model or anything like that. So the machine gets credit for printing the model, but I get the credit for painting the model, if that makes any sense. Or taking, and I also take credit for taking multiple files and putting them into like a scenario like this, that I take credits. By the way, this is a baseball display case. I wasn't sure if it was actually going to fit in here, which it actually did. So that just kind of worked out for the better. Do you play Star Wars Battlefront 2? Well, I play both. I play the original, and then of course I also play the dice version as well. I actually I just downloaded a mod pack. What's cool about playing Star Wars Battlefronts on PC is the mod. Actually, anything with gaming on the PC, you have access to mods. Obviously, I never use any mods that affect multiplayer, or specifically that affects gameplay wise. The only thing that I do as far as mods go is strictly based on looks of a character, because the thing is, for the mods that I found out is that other people don't see what your character looks like, only you do. So it doesn't affect any gameplay performances at all. I'm trying to see if I have it saved on here or not. Where is it? DC, Star Wars, Kylo Ren. I had it saved somewhere, but there's a mod pack that I have on Star Wars Battlefront 2 right now that literally takes the classic Star Wars Battlefront characters from Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 from the the 2000s, whatever year they came out, and someone incorporated those models into DICE's version. So it's using the Frostbite engine, and they look so good. I am actually in the process of recording some gameplay using the mod pack, so you guys could check it out for yourself, enjoying some of the classic Star Wars Battlefront 2 characters updated for DICE's version. Though I feel like DICE could have done more with the character customization. They could have given us all these different variations of characters or updated models, even Captain Rex, Cody, but they never did. So hopefully, if we get a Battlefront 3, hopefully they will incorporate these characters into that one. But what I like about mods too is that I get to play as some of my favorite characters. Like I get to play as ARC Trooper 5s or Echo or even the Bad Batch, which is pretty cool. See, thanks for being a stand-up guy and a good review channel. Well, thank you. I just like to, be honest. I just like to be me. I try not to be anyone different, just because I don't really feel like that's necessary. Like, sometimes, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys watch different YouTube channels, because there's thousands of channels out there. But it's like I could always tell when I'm watching a content creator act basically in a way that they're probably not that way in real life. They like try to be overly dramatic or overly hyped or things like that. And it's like I could tell you're trying to fake not being your true self. So it's always fun to point those things out. So do you play Star Wars, The Old Republic? Yes. I've played The Old Republic. I haven't played it in a long time. So I was thinking of maybe starting that game up again and kind of starting from scratch from day one, because if I were to log into my account now, I probably wouldn't know what's going on. So I feel like it's best to maybe start from square one and then work my way up to where I was, so that way I know exactly what's happened in the story. Because I don't have the best memory. I can't remember a lot of things. Have you played Jedi Fallen Order, and do you think they should make a second one? Of course, I played Jedi Fallen Order. I played it when it first came out. I love the game. Uh, in fact, I would love to see a second Jedi Fallen. I think they're in the talks, if I'm not mistaken for another Jedi Fallen Order. But I feel like it's kind of left open for a potential second installment, as long as they can get the story elements to fit right, or maybe it's a different scenario. But I feel like there could be a potential second one. Maybe a new threat is risen. Maybe the Force-sensitive kids are in jeopardy, or maybe they track down some of these Force-sensitive kids and something else tends to happen. So, I mean, as long as they could work a good story to make it fit, I would love to see a second installment. I did update to the Xbox Series X version because they released the next gen version of the game, which I didn't see too much of a big graphical difference, but it still runs and plays great. Have you played Star Wars Force Unleashed? Yeah. I've played basically all the current Star Wars games except for, I know there's, I think, a few Star Wars games I haven't actually played. There was one on, because I never had the GameCube. The Nintendo GameCube I never had, and I know they had a Star Wars Squadrons game on there, or Squadrons 2. What is it actually called? Let me look it up on Google really quick. GameCube Star Wars. Oh, Star Wars Rogue Leader, I think was the name of it. Yeah, I never played Star Wars Rogue Leader because I've never had a GameCube. And then what is the other Star Wars game? Star Wars Rebel Strikes, Rogue Squadron as well. So yeah, Rogue Squadron and Rogue Leader are the two Star Wars games that I've never played because of not having a GameCube. Where did my chat go? Does resin give off a toxic smell? For some people it does, some people it doesn't. I don't really notice the smell of resin, but I was recently using these filters that might be good if you want to try it out, if you get into resin printing. Let me bring up these filters really quick here. Elgu Mini Air Purifier. They're relatively cheap. It's $20. Where did my chat go? But for me, I don't really notice a smell. My dad, however, does, and it kind of bothers him a little bit. But ever since I put these filters in the machine, he hasn't really said anything, so I don't think he's noticed at all. So I'm assuming these actually work. For some reason, this link was too big to show. I try to link you to their website, but for some reason, I guess it's too much to put. But this is the product here. If you actually look up the Elgu Mini Air Purifiers, you could actually find it in stock on their website. So you basically put them in the machine, and it uses this carbon filter, was it coal, and it basically gets rid of any of the resin smell. What 3D printer do you have? The Anycubic Photon Mono and Mono X. And do you have a subreddit? I have a Reddit account. I don't know if that's the term. If you have a Reddit account, that's a subreddit, or is subreddit like a page dedicated to you? I'm not really much on Reddit. Reddit has always been confusing to me. But I'll link you to my Reddit page if I can figure out how to get to my page. Profile. So here's my Reddit profile. Right there. How much was your printer? So it depends on which one you're looking at. Let me go to Amazon because sometimes the prices are constantly changing. So the one that I started off with, which was the Anycubic Photon Mono, which is a small resin printer. By default, that is $250. It doesn't look like there's a sale right now, but sometimes you can find it as low as $209. But again, the Anycubic Photon Mono is $250 by default. The bigger brother of the resin printer, if you want more surface area and that's of a higher build quality, and that's also a 4K resin printer, is called the Anycubic Photon Mono X. Let's see if I can link these printers on here. So this is the Mono X printer, which is what I'm currently using. So that's the bigger brother. So that one's more of a medium large printer machine for larger projects. If it's a little bit too over your budget, then the smaller brother would be this one here. Okay, for some reason that's a big giant link. Hold on, how do I share this without... I'm trying to figure out how to share this really quick. I was trying to put the whole link here, but it wouldn't let me because it's too much. And this one's too much. Let's see, how about this? Here we go. Let's try this one. There you go. So this is the smaller one. So that's the one that I started off with because I wasn't sure if I was going to like resin printing or if resin printing was going to be easy, which resin printing is very simple. The only thing that you need to know as far as resin printing goes is just some common sense things. Obviously, you need to make sure that you have the correct type of gloves, which is not that hard to figure out. You want to ensure that you're wearing gloves when you're handling resin at all times. Obviously, other important things is don't drink the resin because that would be toxic for you. Uh, Wearing safety glasses and a face mask would be good as well. But just common sense thing, having a clean surface area, making sure you're not getting resin everywhere. If you're going to be if you need to remove the supports, one of the easiest ways to do it is when you're done resin printing, like when your file is complete, is to have a tub of hot water, just some simple hot water from the sink, and let your model sit in it for a while. Because what's going to happen is that it's going to loosen the supports, making it easy to clean off your models completely. And then, of course, making sure that you have some kind of station to cure and wash your prints because you're going to want to use isopropyl alcohol to clean the resin off. And then for curing, you could either get a machine. They have a 2-in-1 cure machine, or they also have the other option, which is free, which is using the sun because it's UV lighting. So that's a good way to cure too. So it's always good to at least look at something before figuring out if the machine's going to be worth it for you. But with, again, well over 99% success rates over filament printing, I haven't looked back since then. How are you doing? I am doing okay. Can you review a lightsaber from Kybers on Amazon? Possibly. Right now, things are kind of a little bit slow. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do this month as well. Again, I know there's a couple Hot Toys figures you guys want me to review, but at the same time, it's been hot, so the weather conditions have also been affecting me. I mean, I do have AC. The problem is that the AC is loud. It's not like a quiet unit, so I can't have it running while I'm doing a video. And anytime it's super hot and I turn the AC off, the temperatures in this room out here in the garage kicks up instantly. So there's upsides and downsides to having the room out here in the garage. more private, more open, a lot of extra space. The downside is during the summer, it is dreadful in this room. Isn't that right, Leia? There's Leia. Hey, Leia. Hey, Leia. See, Leia didn't like the fireworks. Hey, don't. No. I didn't like the fireworks. They were scary. I was hiding underneath the desk. Don't lick the microphone. I know it was terrible. It was scary. Let's see. You. Oh, yep. Yes. What? Yeah. What you need? Oh. Yeah. Give me a second to log off. Don't go anywhere. Is YouTube your only job? Nope. YouTube has always been a hobby for me. I do work a full-time job. So I'm actually going to go ahead and let you guys go. Something came up here. But I do thank you guys for joining me on this really long stream. I don't even know how long I was streaming for, but I do thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. So until then, as always, may the force be with you, and I'll see you guys hopefully here soon.